This is very fascinating. That's a very...
Hello. This is the part where let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, this is not a time where I can go and tell you if your sound is broken.
They hear you, in theory. I mean, I tested it. It's, hey, how many beanies? Oh, I'm supposed to wear a beanie, aren't I? No.
Your beanie's upstairs.
Oh, it's okay. We'll wear a beanie later. Well, you can answer.
How many beanies are you making for Alex? I have made you 3 so far.
Mm-hmm.
There are more to come.
There are more to come.
Yes.
More
yarn
beanies.
Yarn shopping will commence on Sunday.
Yeah, more beanies are being made for Jesse. I'm not muted. No, there's no way I'm muted. You're messing. Oh, you're messing with me. He's messing with me. Okay. I actually pulled it up on the other screen first because I'm so gun shy about the fact that this keeps happening that I tested it so I can hear myself. I know that. But yeah. No, but Jesse, you're making beanies. I know. Thank you, Corey. Oh, come on. Okay, so Corey's here apparently. Corey, for those who don't know, is someone I know in real life. Which the goal when you put yourself on YouTube is to never in any way let people in your real life know that you're actually on YouTube, because there's a certain amount of enjoyment they get out of being there and watching you and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, point is, Happy New Year, first of all.
This is true.
You know, it's I mean, it's a big deal for some people. 2020 is over, which is incredible, and people are making a big deal about, even though 2021 is not any different. It's just another day. I mean, hopefully it's about a year, but the day difference is just a day. Past that, first of all, the live Q&A part. So if you have any questions, anything you want to know, just, let us know and we'll do that. Until then, the nice part. Oh, so Guinea Lover 121, really don't like people watching you. I can't speak for we. I like when people watch me. I just don't like when people in real life who I know in real life watch me, because it's a whole different. Imagine someone think for a second, but pretend your friend suddenly started being like a public person to a degree. Don't you think you'd get a certain level of sadistic enjoyment of trolling them, of watching them, of commenting, of being involved? So maybe it's just me or my family or my sadistic upbringing, but I think I would. And so I'm always worried of that. But yeah, I didn't tell my family I had a YouTube channel until they found out by accident. Did I tell them?
No, you told them.
I told my mother.
Yes.
And then she told everyone else. Oh, that was a mistake. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to take a look at questions? Anything you see there?
Let's see. I don't know if there's that many questions.
You have to talk louder.
Do you have any ideas, plans, playthroughs with the entire family?
So Wolf 310, do you have any plans? I mean, I would say no. So first of all, playthroughs in general aren't something I've really done yet. It's something that I would like to do over time, but I really need to get a better setup with
a film playthrough with the whole family?
Yeah, full film playthrough. I mean, reviews with the whole family I think would be sooner.
Yes.
But not, I don't know exactly when it would or wouldn't happen. But for sure, playthroughs of games until I have an overhead camera setup, which eventually I plan on getting. But practically speaking, to do this right, it's like another $3,000 for like another whole camera setup, including tripod, including a new camera, including all that. So it's a lot of money invested in that. And then, of course, the big deal, it would involve more editing. Yes. And so I prefer not to do more editing. It's not that I prefer. I am down to edit when I have more time. I don't yet have more time. So over time,
really fast.
It does scroll, yeah. So over time, I do plan on doing more editing, and we'll have playthroughs. At which point, a family playthrough is certainly not off the table. But for right now, I would say not yet. All right.
Yes. Okay.
You have this question.
What is the least thing I like about Sender?
So read the name and the question.
That is true. Guinea Level 121. What is the least thing that I like about Sender? That is a great question.
I mean, keep in mind the question is phrased very particularly. He doesn't say what do you dislike. He says what's the thing you like the least. It's still fine.
I don't know. I don't really have anything.
You don't. I mean, you like various things about me. Which one is the one you like the least?
Oh, it's a weird double negative thing.
Well, that's because I'm trying to avoid the question of what it's phrased potentially positively, but we'll get back to it. So if you rephrase the question, maybe we'll come back to it.
Oh, how many games is Alex allowed to get in 2021? Ooh, the same rule applies to how many kitchen appliances I'm allowed to buy. Is if you can find a spot for them in your area where all the games are, shelved or kept, then he can buy as many as he wants. It doesn't bother me. I have the same rule with kitchen appliances. I can buy whatever I want as long as I have an actual spot for it.
Yeah, that's our thing is less about whether you permission, so to speak, but if my games are in the kitchen, that's a problem, and if more kitchen appliances are in the living room, that's a problem too. It's generally we just care more about the process of
Keeping it neat.
Of keeping things neat than much else.
Okay, Mr. I can't see.
Mr. Scronjon.
Mr. Scronjon. What is my top 3 games? Castles of Burgundy, Cthulhu, Death May Die, and top three.
I mean, I think it was Roll the Smog.
Yeah,
I think it was. I'm not certain. I have to read it. I mean, we did a full video on this.
We did my top 10, which really wasn't my top 10 because I cheated. But my top 3 would definitely be Castle of Burgundy, Cthulhu, Death May Die, and Rise of Malak.
Yep.
Those are my top 3.
Okay. Guinea Lover. Sender, what's your least favorite thing about Rina? Again, you have to phrase your question. I'm not sure if you want to know. Let me know. I'll get back to the question. Let us know if you're looking for us to say what we dislike about the other or what we like the least, because those are 2 totally different questions. We'll come back to them. Okay.
How do you feel about teaching board games to your mother's friends?
I don't know who Pacey is, and I don't know who our mother's friends are.
Which mother? It's a good question.
I'm not entirely sure what the question is. Can you be more specific? Do you know one of our mothers? I don't know what's happening here.
I'm very confused.
Okay. Pacey, we'll come back to your question. Jeremy Faustino. I do praise my friends who become content creators, and I make fun of some things they say, or when they talk about anecdotes that I relate to or remember. Yeah, again, I think it's totally reasonable. If you have someone who in any way leads their life in the public eye, do what you can to make them feel uncomfortable about it and make fun of them. I think it's just a moral obligation, really. Okay. Sakabara, Happy New Year from nearest Toronto. Well, we like Toronto.
We like Toronto. We would like to be able to eventually go back there.
It would be nice.
It would be so nice. One day.
Gianca Gentile, thanks for introducing me to the hobby. Greetings from Italia. You're so interesting.
Italy.
So thank you. First of all, I'm happy I introduced you to the hobby. It's one of these things that's interesting because that's the first time I've actually heard that I introduced someone to the hobby. I've been doing videos for a long time, but they do tend to lean more hardcore Kickstarter content, Kickstarter coverage. I have had some introductory video games, but I'm actually thrilled to hear that I introduced someone to the hobby. That's awesome.
Stephen Long. Some channels do gameplay or live stream and load without editing. If they were clear upfront, would you be happy doing them? If we were really clear and people understood that our kids are, monkeys.
I mean, I think the problem is I don't know. Maybe it's my own bias, but a lot of things I do on the channel are going to be based on my own bias. But I don't have a problem watching someone talk to the camera. If anything, I love conversational content on other channels. It's one of my favorite content from channels I like. But gameplay is already to me the least interesting format that you can do. And to that end, I find gameplay that is just visually from the front with like no overhead, nothing that you can see in any way. It's something I want to do, but I'd rather do it right. Keep in mind, I mean, it's not like we're years away from this. I would say in 2021, I'd love to get a second camera and a second overhead rig and figure out the system. I constantly want to treat this channel as something that improves and grows, and that means doing more stuff, including gameplay, including editing, and all that.
Okay.
Okay. Nurse Ruben.
How did we meet, fall in love? Okay, so we were actually set up by a matchmaker who was my next door neighbor when I was growing up. Alex went to high school in Cleveland, and I grew up in Cleveland. Yeah. And we dated.
Oh, this is gonna. Okay, so what you're about to hear is culture shock. Get ready for culture shock. Okay.
We dated for 4 weeks before we got engaged, and then we were married 3 months later.
Yeah.
We actually celebrated our 10-year anniversary this past summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we met. We met through a matchmaker who was someone I grew up with for a long time, and you reached out to.
I reached out to her. I had friends in Cleveland because I went to high school there, so I reached out to a matchmaker in Cleveland.
Right. And then we got set up, and the rest was quite history there.
Yeah, and again, the culture shock part, just to address the culture shock, I mean, in general, in Judaism or Orthodox Judaism, there's a great deal of dating specifically for marriage. So it's not like, hey, we met and then we figured out whether our lives aligned. We literally have sheets of paper that talk about what we're looking for.
A resume.
Yeah, a resume. It's a resume for marriage. And then, don't get me wrong, making it sound very clinical. Falling in love is hopefully part of it.
Correct.
But you start with a premise of here's what I'm looking for, and then you start meeting people who check off those lists and see if there's a connection as well. So it's very intent driven. It's not like, oh, hey, we met and now let's see where life takes us.
Correct.
It's so that whole process.
And it wasn't like we went on like 2 dates. It was a pretty intense dating period for 4 weeks. Nursery and buy more shelves. That is actually part of the plan.
Doggo Explosion.
That is part of the plan.
Oh yeah, we actually are. We just moved this desk over here. We got you a new setup upstairs, and she's been slowly crowded out of the basement, which is just not fair. But that's because you don't come to the basement because it's freezing cold down here. It's freezing cold in the winter down here. And so we just moved her setup upstairs, which means I have room for another
Also,
4
I am
shelves.
Zooming all day
Yeah.
now. So since I Zoom to teach frequently now, then it just worked out better to move my stuff upstairs.
So Doggo Explosion, happy 5781 in 2021. That,
Indeed.
to those who don't know, the Jewish New Year is the Jewish year right now is 5781. So that's a reference to both. That was in September. Yeah.
I'm the same rule about kitchen appliances. Very true.
Yep. Yogi Bear have. Okay. Stephen Long, is the resale market for kitchen appliances?
Unfortunately not.
We're going to finish the question. So is the resale market for kitchen appliances equally robust as for games?
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah.
No.
Although we got most of our kitchen appliances from Sears Outlet, I think.
We got some from Sears Outlet. Yeah. We got some from Home Depot.
Meaning
one from
effectively
Lowe's.
We have bought our kitchen appliances as ding and dent. And that's because, by the way, it's specifically because the resale market is not as good that we did that. Meaning we want to save like $400 on an oven, so we bought one that had a scratch in a corner. That's what we typically try doing. I recommend that to save a lot of money that way. Money that can be used for board games or other kitchen appliances. Okay. Game Lover. Apparently, I have to rephrase. For both of you, what do you hate about each other? Can I'll answer first.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. What do I hate about you? Hate's a strong word. What I dislike. Hate's way too strong a word. What I dislike about you. It's hard to really answer that comprehensively. Things that I used to dislike have just evolved into bad habits for myself. So I would say, for instance, let's give a good example. I used to be very much a neat freak. I used to really care about having everything precise and clean. I never left a dish in the sink ever. I always did every single thing. And my wife is not that way. She's not that way. And so over time, I had 2 choices. I could be constantly frustrated and irritated about everything that was not clean and perfect. Correct. Or I could kind of just end up slowly meeting her in the middle, which is what happened. We both kind of met. She became more, washing stuff, and I became more willing to leave a dish in the sink unwashed. So, I mean, again, dislike is a strong word. When you live with someone for 10 years, you kind of just get used to things more than dislike them. Correct. But that would be mine. Can you think of anything? Hit me with your best shot. Hit me with your best shot.
Having to remind you to do something more than like 3 or 4 times.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Like taking the boxes out, or
that's reasonable.
So many boxes.
One of my favorite mugs.
So many.
We still have to get this
we
mug.
Still have to get the mug.
It's a mug that says it's a husband mug, and it says, "When I tell you I'm going to take out the trash, I'm going to get to it. You don't have to remind me every 3 months." Yeah. Yeah, it's a solid mug. Okay, Sakamara, just keep an air fryer, toaster, mixer, and Instapot. You can take those. Okay,
so our air fryer we actually got rid of because it was taking up too much counter space. Our toaster we actually bought 2 weeks before we got married, and we still have it. The mixer, I've gone through 7 of them. I've broken many. They just can't keep up with what I need to cook. Our Instapot, we lent to a friend on a semi-permanent loan. But what other things do I use most? My blender.
Sous vide.
I still have the sous vide.
I know we don't use it.
I know.
This is the problem with kitchen appliances. All the cool ones, the Instapot, air fryer, and sous vide, they don't get used.
I just bought a new chocolate mold to make hot cocoa bombs.
Okay, we'll see where that goes in 3 months. Okay, Yogi Bear, kitchenappliance.co. Wolf 310. Questions 1, did you enjoy Dice Throne? 2, what legacy type games do you enjoy playing together? So I'll let you take this.
Dice Throne?
Dice Throne, well, I guess to spoil the answer, Dice Throne's the one with Yahtzee. You roll dice, you have a character. There's like a pirate and like a cowboy, and you have different status dice. It's Yahtzee. You're rolling dice to try to you have 3 rerolls, and you have cards that you're upgrading your abilities.
Oh, I did like that one.
It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
That does happen a lot.
Dice Throne is one that we both liked and didn't play.
I did really like that one. Yeah. That one was a really fun game.
I would never turn down a game of Dice Throne. If someone said, "Hey, you want to play Dice Throne?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, let's play." No one ever asked to play it. We taught it to multiple people, and everyone enjoyed it, and no one asked to play it.
What legacy type games do you enjoy playing together? I think I enjoyed most of our legacy games together. Aeon's End was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't unenjoyable.
It wasn't unenjoyable. It was more okay. I really preferred Pandemic, I think, is my favorite one, followed by Charterstone, followed by Queensdale, and then Aeon's End.
Yeah.
I would like Season 0.
Stephen Long, have you ever played a sports-based tabletop skirmish game?
Oh, yes, we have.
I was going to say no. What do we ever play?
Yes, we have. We played that football one.
Oh.
A really long time ago.
That's Blood Bowl, the card game.
Yeah.
That's a stretch. I mean, I guess it's sports-based.
What about the Gladiator one?
It's not. I mean, I guess that's a sport. The Gladiator one. Also, there's that we have that tabletop kicking one.
That is not a skirmish game.
Oh, he said skirmish game specifically. So that eliminates both of yours. No, that eliminates both. That's like Blood Bowl or stuff like that. Okay. No, we haven't. I have not played Blood Bowl or any of the games in that genre. Blitz Bowl, whatever other ones there are. We've played sports-based games. Apparently, we just missed the skirmish part.
Indeed.
Okay, go with the flow. Pop quiz. What's the first board game you two have played together? Oh, this is embarrassing.
Very, very. It was the Build Your Own Monopoly game. We won in an auction, and it was a build your own Monopoly.
So this is not necessarily the first game we ever played. It's possible we played chess. It's possible we ever, but I would say one of the first games we played on our board game journey was You Build Monopoly, and something I touched upon in my video where I talked about how I slowly got. No, that's not true. You Build Monopoly is the first game we got in that batch, but in the board game journey, we played Stone Age first. We played Small World first. We played Catan first. We played all of those first.
Well, we played together. We played them with
just the two. If you're saying just the two of us, it might be You Build Monopoly. It's a game that we won in an auction along with a PS3 that we then sold to get board games.
Correct.
And while we were waiting for those board games, we played like a good 5-6 games of You Build Monopoly, just the two of us on the floor. First year of marriage. It was not the worst thing to do together, but also a game we did not return to. So it's been long gone. Anyways, okay. Corey Adler, what's on the menu for Shabbos this week? Okay, so before we do that, I like making fun of, well, you Gentiles and your Thanksgiving. What I mean by that is Thanksgiving. I love this part of reading in food magazines. Whenever you see food magazines, it's like how to prep for Thanksgiving, 4 tips of how to store your food, 3 tips of how to not do it all. You can buy that crust yourself. Like there's all these different ways you can do of how to deal with Thanksgiving. Jews, Orthodox Jews who have Shabbos, which is coming, it's Friday night and Saturday day.
Sundown Friday to sundown Saturday.
It's basically every single week is 3 meals that are the size of a Thanksgiving meal. Every single week. We've gotten
smaller because of the pandemic.
Well, thanks to the pandemic, it has gotten smaller, but the general concept of having people over and stuffing them with a ton of food and having to wear stretchable jeans or whatever, and not jeans, but stretchable pants and whatever, every single week, 3 times a week, more than that when we have holidays, we Jews got this whole food storage and how to make it all down pat.
I might make a lot of food.
So to answer the question,
it has been something that I have been teased about in the past about making too much food. I like to make everything from scratch. Everything that I can, I like to make it from scratch. But for this week, we have challah, which is a sweeter braided bread. We have chicken soup.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Matzo balls, which are dumplings. Tonight I was going to make a plain roast chicken with potatoes for the kids. We were just having soup with kreplach and matzo balls. Yeah. Tomorrow there's chicken. I probably may or may not make something called yapchik, which is a potato meat. It's like a shepherd's pie. It's like potato on the bottom with meat in the middle and then more potato on top. It cooks for 16 hours in the oven, and it's really, really, really wonderful.
It's very different than shepherd's pie, but it has the same core ingredients, just done in a very different way.
Yeah, it cooks for really, really.
And by the way, it used to be much more food. It depends. When we had guests, we had much, much more food going on, which is not a good thing, by the way. I'm still trying to lose like 15 pounds. Okay, Table Knots just got here. Hi, Alex and Rina. So first of all, Table Knots. Anyone, go to subscribe to Table Knots. Great, incredibly fun to watch channel. So check out Table Knots and subscribe to there. That's Max, I believe. Max from Table Knots. Wilmer, BoardGameCo, you made me back my first Kickstarter. Which one? Let me know. I'm always intrigued by this. Okay, Happy New Year from Shanghai while Chinese New Year is still on its way.
Happy New Year.
Nurse Ruben, what are some of your favorite things about living in Toronto? We don't
live in Toronto. We live in Cleveland, but Alex's family is from Toronto. We unfortunately haven't been able to get back there because of the pandemic, but beforehand we did used to travel quite frequently. But what is one of the best things we like about visiting Toronto is getting the instant coffee, because it is much better than the American instant coffee.
Yeah. We got Saint Moon. What's your dream board game idea? I don't know if you have any dream board game idea.
No.
Oh no. Yeah. I've written rules for 3 board games. I have no interest in going through the work to actually play test them. I'd rather play someone's game that they spent a lot of time designing and tweaking and making good than spend time on my own inferior game that I'll have to make good. And so I in theory, down the road, if this ever becomes full time, maybe it's something I would like to do. Like a lot of reviewers have made games over time, and I like the idea of being involved in game creation. Like I love it when I give a publisher feedback on their Kickstarter and they take it and tweak it. It's fun to know that I had a impact in making a game that is better for, at least for me, and hopefully better for everyone else, but at least better for my own taste. And so I think it's cool. It's just a lot of work that I have to put in the backlog of all the things I want to get to. Mr. Scronjon, what are you both most excited to receive and play?
That Polyomino game that you told me that is coming one day, maybe.
I was hoping you'd say that one.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was called.
It's called Planet Unknown, and I have been talking about this game since I played it. Now, keep in mind, by the way, I've only played Planet Unknown once. There's every chance in the world that we'll get it, we'll play it, and I'll be like, that was good. It was a good first play, but it gets worn out over time. The problem is, and again, I didn't do a review on it for a reason because I played it once, but it was a really enjoyable singular experience that I think will be better. I think it will continue to be good as we play it.
Correct.
But just for all the times I mentioned and hype it, I want to be clear. I've only played it once, and it's entirely possible I'll be bored of it over time.
You are up to Danielle.
Congratulations, Danielle Mazzoni.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the 10-year anniversary. Thank you very much, Danielle. Jeremiah Fastino, who was playing hobby board games first between you two? And for each of you, when and what was the first tabletop gaming experience?
Okay, so who's playing hobby games first between you two? That's a really good question. I don't know. I played with my brother a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, we really entered the hobby hardcore together at the same time. We both have exposure to playing games. I played Catan. You played.
I played a lot.
You played Arkham Horror.
I played Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
I played Ticket to Ride. Very intense Ticket to Ride. They kept stealing my tracks. It was very upsetting. But yeah, no, I think I played a lot throughout more of my upper years of high school. I would say like 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. My brother would bring home. I played Munchkin. I don't know if that technically counts.
Yeah.
There were definitely some other games. What was the first tabletop gaming experience? I don't know. It was fun. They were all fun.
The first.
What were they? Yeah. So Munchkin.
No, I'm saying the first gaming together. There was different. Yeah. Lots of different games over time. Sakara, my wife and I dated for 5 months, then engaged, married 7 months later. 12 years later, still going. Congratulations, Sakara. Yeah, I mean, there are these things about correlation. Arranged marriages, matchmakers and whatnot, dating with marriage. There are studies that show that there is a higher degree of success attached to them because it's a lot more intent-driven. It can lose its appeal of, oh, no, you're dating for intent as opposed to whatever, but it sounds less fun. It's just as fun, and yeah. Okay, Chad Parker. This isn't a question, more of a request demand. More Rina in videos. You guys are funny together. She's cute, adorable, wants to crush her opponents before her.
This is true. I do have a tendency
Chad,
to
so
crush my opponents.
We have 2 videos coming that were immensely enjoyable to film, and I think they were enjoyable to watch. Like, I timestamp everything, so I see them after. Hopefully, they'll be enjoyable to you as well. But the first one's coming this Wednesday, I believe, and the next one's coming the week after. I don't have an exact date, but it's basically our most played games.
Of 2020.
Of 2020. And I think they were really funny. I'm not going to spoil things more than that, but we'll go to that. Okay, Wolf 310. Any advice for a new high school teacher? I'm starting in August. This is all you.
Oh,
she's a teacher.
I wish you so much luck, and you're going to do great. And some advice that I would give to you is that, make your expectations. You might need to lower them here and there. It is going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and you're going to get through it, and you're going to be okay. And just remember that everybody was once a new teacher, and don't be afraid to ask for any help from any other teachers that are in your school. And just be as consistent and clear whenever you're teaching as you can. Just to be clear, when I was in school and I was going in college to learn to become a teacher, and I did my student teaching, I actually taught in high school, but I have been teaching first grade for the last 5 years, and I really do intensely love my job.
Yeah, there have been good years, bad years, good days, bad days.
But then there will be good days, and then there will be really bad days.
It's no different than board games. Every time I lose a game to Jesse on camera, I come home that day crying. It's not fun. In tears. It's not fun. I don't appreciate it. By the way, hi Jesse. I know you joined the chat, which is why I said that. Okay, Nathaniel Robinson. Rina, this is for you.
Alex presents himself as someone who's methodical about buying games. Are there other things for which his buying habits are more unbridled? Does he have a collection of festive Keep-Out? He does not have a collection of festive Keep-Out. I think we joke that things that are more expensive, we tend to just be like, all right, well, we can just buy it. Like when we had to buy the car.
Wait, what?
When we bought the van.
We don't just buy expensive things.
The van.
Oh, no. Oh, you're talking about the cars.
The car.
Okay, meaning we overanalyze every single personal decision.
Everything.
But twice in our life, we've had to buy a car with basically no notice, and they were expensive purchases that we didn't do the level of research I would have liked.
Correct.
And I don't know if the word joke is what I use so much as I'm really sad about and still regret.
Yes.
But okay.
Is there anything? You're very methodical about. We're both very methodical about our shopping.
I mean, board games are probably going to be the most degree of leeway I give myself. Maybe video games. Video games don't hold their value at all, but I'll buy those on Steam here and there. Oculus games I've bought incorrectly because I thought I'd play more of them and didn't, but I stick to the same core games in Oculus. I do like it, but yeah. Okay, Gavin Taylor. Outlet appliances are great, and this is why
are.
my Baptist mother-in-law has a refrigerator with a Sabbath mode button.
Our refrigerator is an old refrigerator, which we love, which was gifted to us by my parents when they were downsizing a little bit, and we really are very happy with our very nice refrigerator.
Yeah, we love outlet appliances in general. Anything that gives you and again, you see this in my talking about board games in general. I'm a huge fan of saving money when the flip side is you're not actually losing, because there's a lot of times in life where you don't want to save money because you're losing on the other side. But like buying a dinged up refrigerator or a car that's been leased for 3 years instead of a new car, there's so many ways to save in big ways that, or if you're buying a house, if you're ever buying a house, call at least 2 different people to get interest rates. Don't just stick with one person and be like, oh, that's good. If you have a 0.25% savings on interest rate, that adds to thousands of dollars of life of the loan, and yet people won't bother making a second phone call. Meanwhile, they'll price shop on Amazon to save $3 on a board game. It's always worth trying to find those opportunities to save big with minimal effort. Okay, Jeremy Facino. I'm a neat freak and want to make sure things are always in place, but I recognize that the origin of that is based on wanting to make it easy for everyone, so I focus on that goal more. That's beautiful. That's interesting. I mean, that's not my origin. My origin is I'm a little bit OCD, but that's a beautiful way of putting it. I love it. Yogi Bear, I have like 3 different blenders technically.
Okay, so I have a Cuisinart.
And
I have
you also have
2
a
immersion. I do not have a KitchenAid.
You don't have a KitchenAid.
3 KitchenAids.
She broke 3 KitchenAids.
I have a Cuisinart and I have 2 immersion blenders, one for dairy and one for meat, because we keep a kosher kitchen.
We used to use magic bullets a lot. We don't use them anymore.
I don't think we have it anymore.
We don't have it anymore. No. We might. I don't know. Either way. Okay. Let's see. Sakura. Yes. How can I forget about the Vitamix? Oh, the Vitamix. Oh, wow.
You saying I should buy a Vitamix? Okay. I should buy a Vitamix.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Of course you did. So Jesse just super chatted, which is basically a way of saying Jesse just paid money to have his comment featured. So we'll answer his comment first, apparently. Hi, Jesse.
Why is Alex still on the channel? Because I asked him to be here.
Yes. Listen, if she wants to take over, I am cool with this. Her first video ever on the channel got 15,000 views. Okay, do you know how long it took me to get 15,000 views? She is clearly the most popular person on this channel. Like it's not even remotely close. I hope that continues to be the case. If all her videos do well, that'd be great. I can retire a lot faster this way. Sakabara, Clank Legacy. Clank Legacy is on the shelf. I really want to play it. This Clank Legacy and Betrayal Legacy is on the shelf.
Oh.
We have 2 Legacy games. It's just we're waiting. Well, Clank Legacy we can play with 2 or 3. Betrayal you really need at least 3, ideally 4. Okay. We'll get to them.
One day.
Mrs. Kulanjan, I just bought Dice Stone Season 1 on Amazon. They send Tactician versus Huntress instead. That is terrible.
That's really sad.
As someone who runs a board game store that occasionally makes mistakes and does stuff like that, I am sympathetic and feel bad and good luck. Hopefully you'll be able to keep the game and get your money back, but we'll see how that plays out.
Indeed.
Corey Adler, have you guys ever played Seafall? We have not.
Have we?
Nope. Seafall is a legacy game that was really trashed in terms of how good a game it was, so we skipped that one. Okay, Blood Bowl. Yogi Bear. Blood Bowl is totally a sports game. So Blood Bowl is a sports game. I guess we're behind in the chat.
Really, really, really long time ago.
But the question is I don't think it's a skirmish sports game. So it does fit the first criteria, but not skirmish. Sasha Notla, Happy New Year. Thank you for keeping my Kickstarter addiction in check. Successful Geep. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Gina Lover. By the way, do you realize who Gina Lover is? I forgot who it was. I
knew exactly who it was.
I did not. When she was asking those questions about what's the things we hate most about each other,
I knew exactly who it was.
We're just gonna block her. What are the gaming styles of the main people in your game group? Oh, okay. So I can answer this. This is very reasonable. So we have a few people on our game group. One of my friends is very tactical in what he does. Another one is very experimental, and a third one is just not good at anything she does at all.
It's not nice.
She just doesn't play well.
Stop it. It's not nice.
Cat Technoblock. Will we see more companies like Stonemeyer use Kickstarter once and then not relying it only occasionally afterwards? Okay, so that's an interesting question. It will for sure happen, but I don't imagine it's the common thing. People tend to use Kickstarter for a reason, and they like it for a reason. They keep that repeating thing to a reason. I will say a company that already has a little bit shifted that way is Skytier, which, by the way, you and I need to play. Skytier, their first game was on Kickstarter.
It has a wolf.
And, oh no. And it is... Their first game was on Kickstarter, and they've since released other stuff after to retail. So you'll certainly see it. It's just, I don't know if it'll be the commonality. Virginia P. I live and work within the Orthodox community. No culture shock for you. You two have great chemistry. I've had this to watch. Has Rina always been drawn to board games, or did you convert her? I'll let you answer.
I think I've always been drawn to board games. I have always liked playing with them. Was I so on board with him spending large amounts of money in the beginning? Maybe not as much, but
awkward.
But it was fine. We really enjoy playing the games together. They're really, really quite wonderful.
Yeah. And that whole period initially, basically when I got into the hobby in a big way, I started spending a lot of money every month in games. And within a matter of like 6 months, something like that, that's when I started turning into like trying to sell them all and get the money back, and slowly turned into a business. Gina Lover, keep trying to lose the weight. You're doing great, especially with the donuts. Again, Gina Lover is one of our friends who likes to troll me on chat. Okay. Jesse Sammy Anderson, Quack. Hey, Jesse, how's it going? Quack back at you.
Duck.
Okay.
There's so many ducks in the house right now.
There are a lot of ducks. Oh, do you understand, Jesse? Just to be clear,
yes.
our 1-year-old quacks.
Old.
That's all he does.
He says duck. It's like
one
of the only words that he knows actually is duck.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He doesn't know other animals. He doesn't know moo, doesn't know sheep's ba, whatever.
All he does is duck.
He's like duck,
quack,
quack,
quack.
duck.
That's it.
Okay. Jesse Sammy Anderson, what's the secret to life and happiness? Oh, this is a good one. So, I mean, I've had 42. This talk with, I was going to do that. 42. 42 is the secret to life and happiness. Honestly, lowered expectations, not in a bad way, but understand what is actually realistic to expect, understand what is realistic to pursue, be very goal-oriented. The whole concept of midlife crisis is because people don't understand what they're working for their whole life, and then one day they wake up and realize that their channel's not as big as BoardGameCo. So having a understanding as to why what you're doing and all that, that is a very big thing in general in life. Understand what you're working towards and why. Chad Parker, just got my question answered. I'm looking forward to those videos. I don't watch anyone as regularly as do BoardGameCo, and Rina's like a fun expansion that makes the game better. oh my gosh, I should do this.
What?
I should do like a video of top 10 essential expansions and be like, Rina, she makes the BoardGameCo game better. Wolf310, any other hobbies you enjoy doing together?
Together?
Yep.
Or okay, so what do we used to do? We used to play. We had some video games we used to play together.
Yeah.
We used to paint. We used to paint together.
We used to paint.
We used to paint.
We used to do puzzles.
We used to do puzzles. I think I have far more crafty hobbies than you do. I have a lot of crafty hobbies, which are not really a two-person project. We used to paint minis.
Paint miniatures, sure.
What we used to do together. Is there anything else you can think of?
Well, painting minis. Oh my god, we should go back to painting minis. That's for sure. So one thing, anyone who has an Oculus, Quest, VR, whatever it is.
Oh, that's a good game.
anyone who has this, if you're in a relationship or with your friends, but in a relationship, this is great for relationships. Get the game. Keep talking and nobody dies or nobody explodes or something like that.
It's a bomb defusal game.
It's a bomb defusal game where one person is in the headset and the other person is reading a pamphlet and being like, how many wires are there? 5. No, cut the 4th wire. What you're talking to each other. You have to communicate and talk, and it is hilarious to watch. Honestly, we should film that.
We should really film
us playing, keep talking, and nobody explodes. Okay. Daniel P, what's your opinion on the selling of deluxe components on Kickstarter? Excited for Castle Mad King Bun Lead Rig Deluxe Edition. So Jesse, on we have a podcast with Quackalope, the Weekly Quack, in which we talked about the nature of what's better. What do we prefer? More gameplay expansions or more deluxeified components? And the short answer is I want both. I like the gameplay and I like deluxeified. What?
Deluxe dice.
Deluxe anything. I mean, Everdell with its tree and premium components versus Zombicide with a million expansions or miniatures.
Premium component?
I mean, I think the base game has it, but the whole Everdell's premium to a degree. But there's lots. But it's a Kickstarter game that was made on Kickstarter. So honestly, I love deluxeified anything. To me, when you first start in the hobby, you start with a mindset of I want more, and over time you decide I want better. So like when I first started, I'd buy every $6 game that was on sale because hey, it was a $6 game on sale. I want to get it. And then over time, I was like, no, I'd rather spend $350 giving myself an amazing, incredible deluxeified game and have less of the junk because my time over time, your time becomes far more valuable than the concept of just having games on the shelf. But it takes time. Okay. Go with the flow. This video is currently keeping me from watching Quackalope's newly released videos. Yeah, so Quackalope yesterday released 5 different videos, I think, maybe even 6 videos covering anything from what he's looking forward to, what his favorite games are, what his most disappointing games are. You should go check them all out, and of course, subscribe to Quackalope because I mean, they're pretty fun videos to watch. Could have used a little more editing to keep up with the style of his channel, but hey, it takes different types of videos. Copterman, how has your life changed in the past year now that you're a YouTuber? One positive, one negative. Let's each do that.
Okay, fine. All right. One positive of you doing YouTube videos?
Yep.
You enjoy them. They're fun.
Okay.
Trying to think. We get different, more interesting games, though it does make me question all the time what kind of game I am playing all the time. Like, what game is this? Worker placement? Like, yeah, I already figured out that it's worker placement. Is this a prototype? Is this a Kickstarter game? Is this a new game? Is it all of them encompassed as one? What is a negative is while you are recording, making sure that no one escapes to where you are recording. There was an instance about a week ago where I was cooking and then all of a sudden I realized that the baby had disappeared and has recently learned how to go down the stairs. And I caught him on the second to last stair as he was in the middle of filming. And it wasn't even like he had just started filming. It was at the end of like a 40-minute video. So like, while it wouldn't have been the worst thing to have him, like photobomb your video, but definitely also I have WD-40'd every single door in this house.
Have you?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do you think they don't squeak as much?
I didn't notice.
I WD-40'd all of them.
So for me, my positive and negative are going to be both aligned in the same idea. One positive is the fact that sometimes at the end of a long day, you don't want to play a game because you're tired and you're this and you're that, but I have to get a review in. And so I'll force myself to play a game. I'll be like, oh, Rina, can we play this game because I have to get a game in? And so I've never once done that and regretted playing the game. It's just sometimes you're tired and you're like, I'll just sit on the couch and read a book or go to sleep or whatever it is. So I like the fact that being a content creator has at times forced me to play more and in a way that I don't regret. The negative is going to be kind of the reverse of that. I definitely do find that there is sometimes a pressure to play certain specific games rather than games I would most love to. It's not that I don't like all new games, it's that I would say I used to have a ratio of like 5-1 in terms of old games to new games. And that ratio, I haven't done the stats in it, but I'd assume it's shrunk. It's still high. I mean, I still play old games far more than new games, but it might be 3-1 or 4-1 now. And I like the idea of choosing my games because I want to choose them rather than I have to hit a schedule. So again, it's still a balance and I don't have any major regrets in that sense, but it's a little bit of a negative. Okay. Kyle Bennon, what is the first non-board game thing you want to do when things get back to normal?
Ooh.
I would love to get back to the pool hall. Interesting. I mean,
there's so many things.
To me, probably Shabbos meals.
Yeah, hanging out with our friends on Shabbos is probably going to be the top one.
Yeah, our friend group, we had a very large circle of friends. In the pandemic, it's very much shrunk to like a core people that we we
still have all of our friends.
We still have all our friends. We don't see them, and relationships that weren't our strongest relationships have maintained. And when it's nice outside, we'll hang out, 6 feet apart. We have 2 or 3 people that are allowed in the house or whatnot. But it's a very shrunken circle of friends, and those on the outside edges, you don't see people, and those relationships do shrink. And so,
is there anything else?
I mean, board games.
Oh, I know. I would really like to go back to Toronto.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's true.
Really like to be able to. We could actually get over the border. That's not the problem. The problem is the 2-week quarantine that we would need to do whilst there, and we really can't do that. So it's definitely something one day that we'll really hopefully be able to get to do again.
Wizard Avalar, great mortgage advice. Any other financial advice? So fun fact, I actually have a video coming soon, probably with Quackalope. I believe we're probably doing one together because it's something that's close to my heart as well as to Quackalope, Jesse's heart, is the idea of be financially responsible in this hobby. There's so much money being spent that you don't want to put yourself in debt or do anything like that. Yes, exactly. And so we do have a planned video together where we plan on talking about the subject and different aspects of the subject. Okay. Wilmer Humskus, BoardGameCo, a little late, but my first back is Townsfolk Tussle. Nice. Townsfolk Tussle.
Congratulations. I'm happy that you like and enjoy the art, and you should enjoy the game.
Yeah, she's saying that because she hated the art to the point that she refused to play the game.
But I recognize that other people like the artwork and will enjoy the game, and I hope that he likes it.
Gonna love her. Love you guys as well. Jesse is right. Sandra, you should just leave. Again, no. I'm down. As soon as she wants to come in and do daily videos, I will happily leave.
Like what time?
How about this? Why don't you, Gina Lover, you're there right now. So Gina Lover is one of our friends in our game group, game group. And how about you just do a video together with Rina, you and her alone, me completely off the channel. It'll be the first video on the channel that I'm not there. How about we do that? I'm cool with that. We can do a video like that. So let's see how it does. If it does really well, we'll just remind people that I'm definitely not needed on the channel. That's good. I'm cool with that. Again, it's just more game time for me. Phil Kier, my first back is Frosthaven. Good choice. Phil Kier actually is Root the Underworld. I just played Root. I just played Root last night online, and we're playing it again tonight. Although I have the Underworld expansion, we're not pulling it out just yet. We need to play it more. Okay. Successful Geek, why is this channel better than Quackalope? Successful Geek, an excellent question. I don't have any firm answers. Probably reliability and consistency. Jesse needs to do daily videos, and he needs to do more confirmation bias, and he needs to do more right for you, wrong for you. I would say his best ideas, the ones that are most well received, aren't done as often. And so he just needs to do more of the things that he is so good at. Yogi Bear, Jesse can't get his own miniature in a Kickstarter, but he can influence your kid's first most common word. That's true. So basically, Yogi Bear is referring to the idea that, especially Massive Darkness, I believe, we tried getting a Quackalope and we couldn't. Jesse has gotten in multiple games. He has not yet gotten a miniature.
I actually think it really was the reason that he really started saying ducks is because we got flooded with ducks.
We have tons of ducks all over the house in the videos. We just did a video. I did a video with Ricky, Ricky's top 10, my daughter, her top 10 games as of 2020. And in that video, she insisted on flooding the mantle with ducks. So she's like, I want to put ducks in the mantle. I'm like, this is not a Quackalope video. This is a BoardGameCo video. What are you doing with these ducks? Okay. Karen Simmons, hi, Rina and Alex. As a husband who's trying to get his wife to game with him more, what 3 games would you choose to get the addiction going with her?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Let's see. The problem is that so many games I've played, I don't know how many are prototypes and which aren't anymore at this point.
Just, either way, if it's prototype or not.
Patchwork is a really nice, simple. It's a tile. It's a polyomino game.
It's a polyomino
game. It's a nice, simple game. It's pretty. It teaches fairly quickly, and it's an easy game to set up and put away. It's also one that you can play while standing and holding a baby. So that one is a very helpful one. Codenames Duet is also a fun, easy game to play, and it's also quick and easy to set up. We said on our top 10 video that we actually played it in the hospital after the birth of our youngest. So yes, this nurse walks in and we just have this little tray table set up with codenames. It was very fun to play. What other ones are a good, easy game to get really into the hobby? Because those are 2 lighter games.
Yeah, I do have a full video coming on this subject at some point. I have like a million full videos coming. I have lists of videos that I have, but I do want to cover at some point games to potentially get a spouse into a hobby. It's going to be set with like a good 3-4 minutes of talking about the nature of getting people into the hobby and when to push, when to not push. Right. The short answer is don't push, but there's a way to guide people when they're willing to be part of the conversation versus shoving your hobby on someone. That's never going to help either of you.
Right. But what's a third game that's a good game? Like,
I mean, it depends on every person. It depends
also what she likes.
Nova Luna recently we really liked.
Nova Luna was also a really good game, but
Via Magica. It's a light game. It's not a great game, but it's a good introduction to some degree.
But it also depends on what she likes.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I want to plan. I kind of want to tackle that video from a stance of if they like this, if they like that. I haven't fully fleshed it out because I think it's a very serious conversation to me, and those videos I find take longer because I want to put more thought into each aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Big Boss, this is the best board game channel. Thank you. Ooh. Thanks for letting me know about DEI. I late backed it. What's Rina's thoughts about it? Rina didn't play DEI.
That one?
I played on Tabletop Simulator. I played online. Rina has not played any games online yet.
Also, to be honest, like a lot of games, I don't always remember the names of them because I have played a bunch, and a lot of times it just honestly becomes it was the game with the square cards that had numbers and letters and other things on them because I can't keep them all straight. Yep. And I don't know how you do.
Jesse Anderson, this is much better than the solo live streams. I agree, Jesse. I like this far more. It's far better. Sakura, just got Quest 2. We'll have to try it out. Definitely. Oh my gosh, it is so much fun. This is the keep talking, nobody explodes. Yeah, I gotta talk it. Okay, Benjamin Hell, when are you getting a playthrough video with Alex, Rina, and the Sfinkini Lover? She said, guess what?
What?
I don't. I already got caught. That doesn't help me. You said what?
I know. Got caught. Because it's fun.
We're in the middle of playing Don't Get Got, which is, we'll talk about it later. Benjamin Hell. So when are we getting a playthrough video with Alex, Rina, and Jesse? I don't know yet.
Great question.
Jesse, when's Jesse coming? I'm visiting Jesse this weekend, so we're going to get a lot done there. But whenever Jesse visits us next, maybe we can get that in.
Time it during midwinter break or...
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. At some point, we all plan on visiting Jesse as a family, but it's just a question of when and how and all that. Wolf310, did you get a review copy of Pebble Rock? Did the family enjoy it? No, I didn't. Pebble Rock's not on my radar at all, so I don't know anything about that one.
Right down.
Stash Another, have you played Thunderstone Quest? I really love that one, but skipped the last Kickstarter because it would add a third of those huge boxes. Did we play Thunderstone Quest together?
Yeah.
You sure?
I know. Yes.
Okay. We played Thunderstone Quest.
Maybe. Yes.
Exactly.
Is there a game called Thunderstone?
We played Thunderstone Advance together. I know that. I don't know if we played Thunderstone Quest together.
We played a lot of different Thunderstone.
Yeah.
You got it. You got rid of it. You got it back.
No, it's like a different version. Like I played Thunderstone, got rid of it. I played Thunderstone Advance, got rid of it. I played Thunderstone Quest, got rid of it. I'm gonna give up on the Thunderstone at this point.
I don't remember. I know I played a Thunderstone with you, but it was like 9 years ago, so I don't remember.
I like Thunderstone. I've liked all of them. I haven't loved any of them. Yogi Bear, which game would you teach Jesse how to play? Fun question. The answer this weekend is going to be 3 different games. I'm teaching him Primal. I'm teaching him more than that. Kingdom Rush, Candy Wars. I'm teaching him one more, Spirit Island, probably, potentially more, but a whole bunch of games. Yogi Bear, which game would you? No, that's just the one. Carlos, Happy New Year. Do you guys had to play Andy and Abyss from the Coin Hot series and would like to buy it? But I would like to know if the game is good. The Coin series is super intriguing to me. I haven't played any of them, but I do want to play them all because
what is it?
It's a series of games called. I think Coin stands for Counterinsurgency or something. I think it's Counterinsurgency. Okay. There are a bunch of these political games with rebels and stuff. They're supposed to be really good. I just haven't played them yet. Jesse Samuel Anderson. Oh, super chat again. I missed this one. Jesse Samuel Anderson gave another super chat. And by the way, Jesse Anderson from Quackalope has a channel called Quackalope, which you probably know. He also has a new channel he just started with his own name, Jesse Samuel Anderson, that if you like hearing him talk about things that aren't just board games, he's on that channel too. You should definitely go check it out and subscribe. It's him talking about like motivational stuff to a degree, you know, how to keep at things, how to be persistent, what is the secret to life, the universe, and everything, and all those kinds of things. You know, that kid's got spunk. He's going places. You should definitely check it out. Wolf 310. Can you recommend a good book to read?
Oh, you go first because I've been reading a lot lately.
So I recently did a video of my top 10 TV shows. I plan on doing this for my top 10 books as well. My go-to recommendation, it's going to be number one on that list for sure, is always going to be The Pillars of the Earth. It's got a good board game too. Now it's your turn.
True. I don't know. I read a lot.
So what's a good board?
What's one of my favorite books? So I've been reading a lot of nonfiction reading lately. So I've been reading a lot of nonfiction. Yes, currently I'm reading Debt: The First 5,000 Years, which is very fascinating book to read. But I think my favorite book right I know out of all my nonfiction thus far was Chernobyl.
Oh, Chernobyl's a good TV show too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes, but the book was better.
The book was better. I didn't read the book. I watched the TV show.
The book was really good. But yeah, no, I haven't read anything fiction in a while. Been on my nonfiction kick for a while.
Copterman, where are you guys from originally? How did you meet? Sorry if you've answered this already. So I'm from Toronto originally.
I'm from Cleveland, and which is where we still are. And we actually were set up by a matchmaker. Who was my next door neighbor that I had grown up with. Alex went to high school here and had been coming to visit friends, reach out to the matchmaker. We were set up. We had a very intense 4-week dating and got married.
We did do this whole answer already. So, I mean, if you want to watch it, is earlier, but that's the short version of it.
Yes.
Misso. Hey, BoardGameCo, love the channel. Are you planning on designing a board game anytime soon? If not, what genre would you design in? I'm not entirely sure that if not. I think it's if yes, what genre. But in any case, I answered this already. But the quick answer is I would love to design a board game down the road. Right now, I just don't have the time to properly do it. I have actually written rules for 3 board games. I just haven't taken it past the rules. It's all rules, no playtesting.
What genre would you do it in?
I mean, genre, area control. Almost certainly. I think the 3 games that I have are all area control based. Actually, 2 area control based. One's more like a Zombicide style game. Okay, next up we have Missimo. Do you two have any board games you really disagree on? One of you loves a game, the other hates it or completely. Yeah.
Zombicide.
Okay, you haven't played Zombicide. You played the tutorial and you're like, this is too easy.
With ogres. That was a really long time ago.
Ogres. I don't know anything with ogres.
There have been a few games that I really have not liked.
There's a lot of games over the years that we don't agree on everything. There's games she likes. I mean, honestly, I have it better than she does in the sense that if she doesn't like a game, if she loves a game and I don't, then it's not going to get played and we get rid of it. If I love a game and she doesn't, I have other people I play games with.
That is true.
Like 90% of your game time is with me. Like 40% of my game time is with you. Like I have more gaming going on outside the two of us. Yogi Bear, this hobby is cheap. Stay away from hi-fi. What's hi-fi? I don't even know what that is. Okay.
I'm very curious now.
Okay, where we go. Gina Love, I'm open to doing a trial video, but unfortunately want to include you. Oh, we'll see how that plays out. Matthias Wunderlich, hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Virginia, didn't know Rina's first grade teacher. I teach preschool, and in a pandemic year, it's been so challenging. Oh my God.
It's kudos to you first off for being a preschool teacher. It's like I really don't know how you do it. I think teaching this year has been the most difficult year that I have ever taught, primarily because of the mask wearing and the social distancing. It's really hard to social distance 6-year-olds. But yeah, no, teaching and when they cannot see your facial expressions and teaching reading, I think has been one of the more difficult things that I have done this year because a lot of it really comes down to lip movements and is just very hard. But yes, kudos to you.
Yep. Not to know Robinson, why don't you like World War II themes? I play those games with my son who's striving to go to the Air Force Academy, but sometimes I must suppress knowledge of some family appears in the Holocaust. So for me, it's nothing to do with Holocaust based at all. In fact, like I played World War II video games. I have no problem with
Blitzkrieg?
I play like Blitzkrieg, like for instance, was totally Nazi themed. I have zero problem with that. But my thing with World War II games is I generally just find them more dry. I just find them like just not that interesting. Generally historical battles types, even 1754, which is a game I really enjoy, 1775, is a historical game that I find fairly dry, but I like it despite that. Meaning I'll play World War II games. We play Blitzkrieg. You said Blitzkrieg.
I said Blitzkrieg.
Oh, I was referring to Rackbusters. Interesting. So Rackbusters
I didn't like Rackbusters.
None of us like Rackbusters.
We tried it. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not really the fondest of the Holocaust.
Oh, so for you it is more Holocaust based?
It's more Holocaust. But I like Blitzkrieg because it was more...
It's abstract.
It's more abstract.
Yeah, for me it's not Holocaust based. It's just a lack of interest in the theme. Okay, Jonathan Wilmoth. Alex, what do you think about doing a video on your house rules? For example, Everdell Spycross doesn't intrigue me as it's written, but I've got some great ideas for house rules. I do plan on doing a video about the concept of house rules very shortly.
House rules, small things like when we couldn't find the answer.
Well, that's more just trying to continue with the game. But yeah, the concept of house rules in general is something that intrigues me. It's something I try to avoid in general, and I do plan on doing a video about when I'm okay with it, when I'm not okay with it, and what that distinction is for me personally. Okay, we have Miyasimo. Final question. Do you ever play D&D? If so, do you have a favorite edition, adventure, etc.? We've only ever played one role-playing game together, and it was together. It was not D&D. It was the two of us together.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember the theme of it, but we spent like an hour on character creation. That was okay.
It just wasn't to our taste.
It wasn't to our taste. I don't like, and it's very possible you need a better setup, better this, better people. I'm open to playing it again. So I'm happy to play D&D and give it a shot.
I don't like those story games. I'm not as fond as that
style. So for me, I just don't like the open world nature of.
Yeah.
I like a set of confined rules that I have to figure out how to win. I like that puzzle in between. I don't like the aspect that I'll say I ducked under the wizard's staff, and I don't like making things up in just hoping that I fit a narrative. I also don't like the aspect of how in RPGs you have a dungeon master who's trying to like balance the game. I want to know the rules, and I'll figure out the rest from there. I don't want someone balancing the game and me making stuff up. It doesn't appeal to me, but I'm open to giving it a shot. Again, it's been 10 years since I played it last. Okay, Yogi Bear, which game would Rina teach Jesse? Anything.
I have no idea.
The amount of games you know well enough to teach Jesse is a lot of games. That's any game. Okay, McScronjon, Miles and Book of the Fallen, epic fantasy. Ooh, I'll have to look into it.
Ooh, that sounds fun. I like fantasy.
Copterman, how do you know Quackalope? Did you become friends within the last year? Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, I put out a video about 8 months ago. That was my top 10 YouTubers, and it wasn't any specific category. It's just people I enjoy watching and get a lot of value from. Which, by the way, that list is majorly expanded, and even back then it was a large list. I just picked 10, and to that end, I mentioned Quackalope as one of them that I had recently started watching and recently was really enjoying. Jesse reached out and we started communicating, and it's been a lot of fun to fight back and forth, to rib each other, to just basically, it's fun having someone else who's both in board games as well as in content creation. It's another aspect of shared everything that we can just talk about on a daily basis whenever we want. So I like the relationship. Let's see. We have Brandon Apter. Thoughts on Dwellings of Eldervale with 2 players. So I did play Dwellings of Eldervale. I played it with 2 players as well. I would say that if you like it, I found it I want to say like almost as enjoyable with 2 players. I know a lot of people actually like it a lot more with 2 players. I liked it with 3 best, and then 2 second best, and 4 the least. I have not played it solo, but yeah, I still moved on from it eventually. But that would be the level that I enjoyed it with. Sakabra, we love it with 2 dwellings. So you see, there's an example. I know a lot of people like with 2. Fun fact, I believe it was play tested the most with 2 players. Wolf 310, Pebble Rock delivery service by Skybound Games is advertised as a parent. Oh, that one. Okay, so I've seen Pebble Rock on. I've seen on Board Game Spotlight, a Facebook group. I've seen the Pebble Rock game. I think it's aquatic themed. I think, and I've seen it advertised. I haven't looked into it very heavily, but I would love to look into it. Sure. Gina Lover, Dwellings was decent with 2. Yeah, she played it. She's the person I played it with at 2 players. Lee Dyke, what's your guilty pleasure game? As in, what game is basically trash but you love it anyway? Anything? So, I mean, honestly, the most recent one is going to be a game called Charty Party. Charty Party is very much a trashy party game that involves lining up charts with their graphs and finding something that fits.
It was really
funny. Was totally, I mean, it's a classic party game. I think it's good for a few laughs. But really I have a lot of guilty pleasure games. I wouldn't call any of them trash, but they're ones that I think I enjoy out of proportion to where I think I should enjoy them. A good example would be Valeria Card Kingdoms. I find it immensely enjoyable. But I don't think it's like the best game. I just think it's a lot of fun.
Fun game.
I think it's fun. It has
really nice artwork.
It has great artwork for sure. Copterman, Rina, got a funny, embarrassing story. Alex, got a funny, embarrassing Alex story you'd like to share. Go for it.
One. I'm trying to think. See. I know. Think. Okay, so when we were playing Codenames.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This one. Very, very, very first time, second time we played it, and on the table there were the cards apple, banana, kiwi, and I was like, all right, I got the easiest clue. I was like, fruit 3, and he looks down, he's like, fly. I was like, it is literally right next to the apple card. Like, I really don't know how else I can, do this to make it any simpler for you. But yeah, no, that one was pretty. Yeah,
it's one of your favorite stories to bring up.
It's so funny.
Okay, we have Daniel Cheminsky, longest game ever played.
Through the Ages. I think we played it for like 5 days.
Well, okay, we played it 5 days over multiple whatever.
Multiple hours.
For me, it's probably going to be Kemet Seth. I believe I played a game of Kemet Seth that came in at 6.5 or 7 hours.
Well, is it a single game or a series? Because Pandemic would.
No, single game. I imagine single game.
So swim through the ages.
Yeah, so me, I played Kemet Seth. I started at like 8 o'clock and finished at 3 in the morning. It was basically, it's an expansion to Kemet that turns it into a one versus all. And I love the theory of what it's doing. I like the gameplay of what it's doing, but it expands the game by 3 hours and is just as enjoyable as base Kemet. So I got rid of it, and we tried it twice. The first game was like 6 hours, and the second game was like, oh, well, we know it better, so it'll be better, and it was 7 hours. So I gave it up. It's the only Kemet expansion I have no interest in touching again, because base Kemet is the same level of fun and 3 hours shorter. Okay, Corey Adler, what's the whole North Underside joke? So Corey Adler is referring to my name on the podcast, where with the podcast, The Weekly Quack with Quackalope, my name has slowly been growing. You don't even know this, do you?
No.
Okay, so my name is like Alex Radcliffe the third from North Undershire, Jackson Harris, something, Boardy McBoardface. I have a very long name that constantly has been growing. It occasionally shrinks. It just started. Oh no, it started because I was called Alex Radcliffe the third by Jesse, and then it slowly expanded from there, from North Undershire or whatever. It's just been growing. Gina Lover, is Jan still a part of Quackalope? You know, you'd wonder that. You would wonder if Jan's still a part of Quackalope, because he just disappeared off the face of the earth, but he is still a part of Quackalope. He'll show up in videos. He's on the podcast every single week. Okay, we have Joshua Ryan. Sorry if this is a weird question, but I want to see if I'm right. What are y'all horoscope signs? Also, congrats on 10 years.
Thank you.
Do you know what your horoscope sign?
No, but it would probably be the same.
We're both in August.
We're both in August.
August 26th, August 30th. So, I mean, whatever that makes us.
You're August 26th.
Pisces, I have no clue. I don't know this stuff.
I have no idea. But yeah, no, our birthdays are pretty close.
Yogi Bear, Vitamix or KDM expansion? I mean, Vitamix, I guess, because I don't have KDM, so the expansion would be useless.
Do you know in the Vitamix you can put things in and it heats stuff so quickly you can make soup?
Does that mean you want a Vitamix?
One day.
Okay, I mean, again, you find the space for it, you get it. I don't care. Okay. Jesse Samuel Anderson. Ooh, this is a fun question. How do you define love? Do you want to take this one?
No.
Okay, I'll take this one. So, love. There's a great article. Google it. It's called "Love is a Verb." It's a great article, written a long time ago, like 8 years ago or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. But the general idea is love is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not a descriptor. It's a verb. It's the action of giving again and again and again. There's a reason we love our pets, or I mean, for people who like pets, I don't like pets. But for people who like pets, there's a reason you love your pets. There's a reason for myself and you, we love our kids. There's a degree of unbridled, unerring love. And it's not biological. You get an adopted kid, you love them too. There's a concept of you give and you give and you give and you build up love. It's a verb that the concept of giving will engender love. The more you give in a relationship, whether it's a friend, whether it's a spouse, whether it's an animal, a kid, whatever it is, whether it's a parent, the more you're on the giving end of things, the more there will be love in that relationship. Love is not just an abstract concept where it's like, oh, hey, we met, we fell in love, yay, us. You know, it doesn't, that's called infatuation. Infatuation lasts for a very short time. Infatuation, goes down. This is why we see huge levels of divorce rates nowadays, because you meet, you get infatuated, you get married, and then you're like, okay, and now the love's gone. It vanished. It disappeared. We fell out of love. You didn't fall out of love. You were never in love. You were temporarily infatuated with each other, and you never actually built up a long-lasting relationship. It's something you have to work on and work towards. You start with infatuation, you start drifting downwards, and over time, you build back up towards a relationship of trust, of knowing each other, of caring about each other, of just coming home and having someone to talk to at the end of a long day, someone that you can just say, this and this happened. Or like for me, like I'll just be like, oh, someone commented this on the channel and that turned into a conversation. It's someone who's constantly present in my life, who's a huge part of my life. But love isn't this magical thing. There's a reason fairy tales end and they all lived happily ever after. And you don't actually get to see it, because fairy tales are all about infatuation. They aren't about love. I have tons. I should do a full video on this, but there's tons of stuff, like talks or books or all these things about the concept out there. And it's something, if you think it's something that's supposed to magically last forever, that is why you'll be disappointed and move on from relationships, as opposed to if you understand what actually goes into a real relationship over time, it will drastically change what's going on. Okay. Brandon After, have you guys played Dune Imperium with the dummy AI? We have played Dune Imperium. We have not played with the dummy AI. I generally am not a fan of dummy AIs. For sure in my case, when I could play it with more players, so I try to avoid those. Coptman, Alex Arena, any cool, impressive talents either of you possess?
Oh, you juggle.
I juggle.
You do juggle.
I do magic.
You do.
I draw. You have a ton of talents. I'm just listing mine.
I have a lot of hobbies.
Oh yes, that's so different. When I draw, it's a talent. When you knit hats, it's a hobby. Yes, crochet hats.
I crochet hats. I knit. I
stuffed animals. Sewing. Cooking.
I do like to cook.
I used to cook, by the way. Basically, fun fact: I used to cook. Our first 3 months of marriage, I cooked because I'm Canadian, so I was here on a green card. I couldn't work, so I cooked every day, and that was great. And then she started cooking down the road, and she's so much better at it than I am that I was like, I could make this chicken that's pretty decent, or you can make that chicken that's delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So lots of hobbies, apparently, talents, whatever.
So many hobbies.
And no wiggling ears. I can't do that. I can half raise an eyebrow, maybe.
Nope.
Gina Lover. This is a good one. Okay, you can tell the story. So Gina Lover has a reminder of another embarrassing story. This is a great one.
Playing board games by candlelight when electricity was working. Yes, so there was one time, I think this was about a year or two ago, that he was having his weekly game night game in our house, and I was cooking and the power went out, and I was upstairs, the power, and I was like, oh, power went out. And I went back upstairs and I saw stuff flashing in the room, so I turned it back on. And then I was on the phone, and I came back down an hour later to find their board game group playing by candlelight. And I was like, is there a particular reason why you guys are playing by candlelight?
We didn't know the power was back on.
Well, the power went out. And I'm like, yeah, for like 30 seconds. And then it came back on. And the only reason that they really didn't notice that it had come back on was because our house has been smartified. And when there is a blackout, the lights don't always actually come back on automatically. So they spent an hour playing by candlelight without realizing that the entire house actually had electricity.
To be fair, we played Zombicide Black Plague by candlelight for an hour. I have zero complaints. Zero. And it makes for a great story after. But that was solid. Okay, so it's amazing. You can make soup from scratch in minutes. I'm assuming it's the Vitamix. Okay, if you get a Vitamix. Also, pay attention to the next Black Friday or who knows what. Just get one. Day. Okay. Let's see. Successful Geek, Sakabra, great song. Okay, Benjamin Hell, message retracted. How dare you, Benjamin? That's offensive. I can't believe you said that. Corialdo, what are both your thoughts on Lords of Waterdeep?
I like Lords of Waterdeep. You got it back. We played it again. It was fun to play, but I feel like it's definitely more of an entry.
Yeah, I highly recommend Lords of Waterdeep to anyone who wants to play it. For ourselves, we moved on from it to other games.
Yes.
Corey, great worker placement game. I feel like I missed a worker placement question earlier. I think I saw one. I missed it.
Answering.
No, I think Corey asked about worker placement games earlier, or someone did. Okay. But what are your favorite worker placement games?
Fighting Kingdom, is that a worker placement?
No,
it's Area Control.
No, Area Control and drafting. You've played this. I really enjoy Rajas of the Ganges right now.
Oh, I do like Rajas.
That to me is like the new Lords of Waterdeep. It's a step up from Gateway. I really enjoy that. Everdell has worker placement as a key feature. I like that one. I'd have to go through. I mean, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Yes.
Oh, I really like that game.
Dune
Imperium. That was also a game that we played by candlelight.
Was it?
Yes, the power went out. You had a meeting. We had no power for like 4 hours. Sunday afternoon was awful.
You talking about Lost Ruins of Arnak or?
Yes.
What game is Lost Ruins of Arnak?
It's the one with the plane and the wagon and the boat.
Plane, car, and boat, but close enough. Plane, jeep, and boat.
Okay.
You got it.
And we lost power.
Just making sure we're talking about the same game because I don't remember this at all. Okay, let's see. Corey, great worker. Joshua Ryan, most anticipated Kickstarter that you guys know is coming in 2021.
I don't know anything that's coming in 2021 except for the Polyanimal game. I just take the boxes as they come in the house.
Yeah, I'd have to look at my list. There are definitely some that are coming up. One that I recently played that I really enjoyed is I just played it on TTS with the designers. Hopefully I'm getting a prototype to review. But it is a game called Velocity Vanguard that was on Kickstarter and is relaunching. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's not going to be for everyone. I'll cover it in my review, but it was a ton of fun to play. Really enjoyed it. Let's see. Okay, favorite song. Oh wait, no. So go with the flow. Do you plan to do timestamps for the video? No. I once tried doing timestamps for Q&A, and the problem is the questions are every 30 seconds, and I have to watch the whole thing and then write it out. I don't plan on doing it. Maybe I will, but I don't plan on it. Justy Sam Anderson, favorite song to sing together.
Oh, it's that one by Rob Thomas.
Oh, we do like that one. How's it go again?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
We sing it all the time.
It's something with dancing. I don't remember. There's a Rob Thomas song we do like.
I think we'd be good together.
I think we'd be good together. That's right. Yeah.
By Rob Thomas.
Oh, that's such a good song. Okay. Let's see. Kopterman, are you obsessed with ranking games on Board Game Geek? I am always tweaking my rankings. So Kopterman, short answer is there's 2 ways I rank games. And it's specifically because I used to tweak them all and I hated the process of being involved in tweaking my rankings. Right now, I rank my games into 5 categories, which is basically a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 is just unnecessarily too much. And within those categories, 5 are incredible games that I absolutely love. 4 are games I really, really like and would be very sad if they were gone. 3 are games that are good. You know, they're good games. I own them, or sometimes I own them, sometimes I don't, but they're good games. 2s are games that I really think I should be getting rid of for one reason or another, and 1s are just bad games. I don't have 1s, to be very clear. I have 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. 1s I see no reason to have. And it's not ranked based on purely the game itself, because, for instance, there are games that will drift over time to a 2 because I moved on from them. Lords of Waterdeep would have been a 5 when I first played it, and it slowly moved to a 3, and then I got rid of it while I was in the 3 category. 2s are generally games I'm holding on to for longer than I should. The second way I rank games, when I'm doing my top 50 at the end of the year, is within those categories, I then completely scramble them and try to order them. So I go through all my 5s. So for instance, to give you context, I had 40 5s in my top 50, and then the next 10, I had to go into my 4s to go into. So I have general categories of blocks that I put them in, and then when I want to rank them for any particular reason, I order them. That's the short way I do it. Okay. Then, and this is the problem with ranking games in my reviews, because I in theory I would just say, hey, this game is a 5, a 4, a 3, but then I have to explain this every time because people are used to different ranking systems. So I just don't. Instead, it's faster. But I will say we're at an hour and 5 minutes. We are slowly going to drift towards closing up, which means we'll keep going, but there is a slow drift towards that. Okay. Jonathan Benishman Hell. I'm looking for a gateway, simple to learn, hard to master game with a solid solo variant. Any idea? It's for a non-board gamer father. Gateway, simple to learn, hard to master game with a solid solo variant. I mean, there's going to be a ton. Lost Winds of Arnak does have a solo mode. I think it was well rated. So that would be, you know, a simple, decent gateway entry to learn. Wingspan, I believe. Wingspan is going to fall into that category. It's incredibly well reviewed. It's like for number 1 family game on Board Game Geek. It has a solo mode that is very well done. Supposedly, I haven't played it myself, but Wingspan. Carson Simmons, what is the favorite dinner that you eat on a regular basis?
Cranberry chicken.
Cranberry chicken?
That is your
Cranberry chicken.
You like cranberry chicken quite a bit. It's a very fast, easy, quick recipe, and it's
but it's really, I mean, I eat it more often
because
one of my favorites right now is curry meatballs and potatoes. That is so good.
I know,
but you don't make it as often.
I don't make it as often, but because cranberry chicken, everybody in the house eats, and curry
this
meatballs.
Next question's
the
for
kids
you.
Which one?
Wolf 310. Do you take commissions for stuffed animals?
I haven't made one in a really long time.
So the short answer is
I don't think I've ever taken commission for any of the things that I made. No, there was that one time.
Temporarily tried.
There was that one time where I made the cupcake bouquet.
Yeah. So okay, she does a lot of things that are artsy, a lot of things, and she's gotten people a lot of time over the years asking her to do stuff for money. But when she has occasionally dabbled in that, she doesn't like it quite as much.
It takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So like if people ask me to make them, I generally don't mind. Like, or sometimes I'll let them buy me the materials and then I'll happily make it for them. But I think like the one time I did it, I was just making a cupcake bouquet, which is like a giant, you know, bouquet of cupcakes that are made to look like flowers.
Yeah. Gina Lover 121, favorite Marvel and DC character. I know mine. I have both.
Loki.
Oh, nice. That's from Marvel and DC. You don't like anyone. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Okay. For me, my favorite Marvel and DC characters are Loki is a good one. It makes me question this, but I'm still going to stick with it. Batman is my favorite DC character, just hands down.
Our child's favorite.
We have a lot. Mine too. It's my favorite.
We have a lot of Batman stuff.
And for Marvel, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is by far the best character in Marvel. Absolutely, no questions asked. Stefan Stephenson. Happy New Year from Iceland. Your top 3 traveling games. Okay. Sprawlopolis. Probably Under Falling Skies is joining the list. I really like it.
Circle the Wagon.
So the problem with traveling games is I usually just pick solo games.
Right.
But Circle the Wagons would not be a bad one, actually, in case I do play with 2. Okay. Jesse Stanley Anderson, biggest mistake you're currently making on the channel. Ooh, biggest mistake I'm currently making on the channel. I mean, clearly based on this chat, not having more Rina in the channel is the biggest mistake, but that's more her call. I'm happy to have her as often as she wants to be here. A biggest mistake I'm currently not making. I would say there's a lot of things I could be doing if I had more time. Like even things like simple B-roll are things that I should be doing. I just need more time. So yeah. Successful Geek, what is the lowest rated board? I'm gonna get to it. It's right below. Jesse did another super chat. The hats Rina made are amazing. I use them a lot. Again, reminder to subscribe to Jesse Samuel Anderson. You can click on the big blue thing in the chat right there.
3 more hats.
Jesse has 3 more hats being delivered on Sunday.
Yes.
Or Saturday night.
Maybe 4. It depends what my schedule likes.
Successful Geek, what is the lowest rated board game geek lowest rated game on BGG that you like the best? And that is going to be right over here. Let me just see if I can pull this out.
Nice job.
Terra Nova, I believe it's a 6.4 on Board Game Geek. I think this is the lowest rated game on Board Game Geek I have in my collection. I really enjoy it. I find it to be a nice tactical abstract game. I don't know why it's rated so low, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, Gina Lover, who gets more excited about packages in your family? Me.
You.
Oh, that would be my favorite part of being a content creator. Answering a question from earlier, my favorite part of being a content creator is it is fun to just come home to packages from companies and be like, oh, I got a box today. What's in the box? What's in the box? That's a
There's
reference,
there's also the terror of calling you like, you have $5. It's pouring rain outside. Please come and get them because I can't lift them.
So getting more boxes is fun. Whether the games are good or not, the boxes is fun.
The boxes are very fun.
Okay, not to know Robinson, favorite Canadian designer. I don't know offhand who's Canadian. Can we count Eric Lang? I think he lives in Canada now. He counts, right? I'm going to count Eric Lang. You don't know any designers offhand, do you? Okay, we have Lee Dyke. What was your proudest board gaming moment or the greatest satisfaction?
I think when our 5-year-old came and set up a game. Okay, so I think we had slept in and he wanted to play a game.
Yeah.
And he got the game off the shelf and set it up all by himself perfectly. I don't remember which game it was. It was
Castle of Caldale.
Castles of Caldale, and he went and he set it up all by himself.
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome moment. That was definitely, I was a big fan of that. He just grabbed the game and set up. He's like, I got the game ready. I didn't know he could do that. It was incredible.
He's 5.
He's 5. Yes. Joshua Ryan, favorite class hero to play in fantasy games?
Wolf.
Okay, that's her answer. My favorite class or hero, I generally like magic. I'm a big fan of magic. Mage, I guess, all that stuff. I like interesting things too. So if there's interesting stuff, I usually go with that. Jeremy Faustino, improving your board games, painted minis, custom inserts, deluxe tokens, yay or nay, and if yay, would you prefer doing them, painting an insert yourself, or just pay for them? Paying for painted miniatures is expensive. It's not cheap, and it's not worth it to me. But doing it yourself is time, and so I do it because I like the hobby aspect of it. But again, I need more time. Again, over time, if this becomes full time, maybe I'll start a separate channel where I just paint games and do paint miniatures or whatnot. Who knows? But I do like painting miniatures. I just don't have enough time, and I do like deluxifying the rest. Sean Hilliard, were board games a factor when you two were first introduced?
Nope.
No.
We
played. We answered this a little bit earlier. We both had exposure earlier on.
Yes.
And then drifted into it more as time went on. Okay, we have. Let's see. Look it up. We made something called. Oh wait, what is this? I've never heard of cranberry chicken, but we made something called apricot chicken. Look it up. Sweet chicken.
Sweet
cool.
Chicken. Yep.
I'm cool. The hats Rina made are amazing. I use them a lot. Yes, Jesse. Oh my gosh, Jesse. First of all, Rina just walked in the other day and watched you in a video. I think your videos yesterday. We're doing 5 different videos, all in the yellow hat. She's like, "Oh, he's wearing the hat. He really likes it." I was like, "I told you he really likes it." But yeah. Jesse Sam Anderson, 3 new hats coming.
3 new hats.
And just again, the key to happiness: set your expectations that you will like all of these less than the one you have now, and that way, if you like them more, great, and if you like them less, you're not disappointed.
And there'll be more hats coming.
All my expectations.
Will commence on Sunday again.
For instance, my expectations are that I will lose every game we play together over the weekend, and that way, if I win, hey, at least my expectations are exceeded. Okay, the fish sakura, the fish of the box, red snapper, very tasty. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Okay, Gina Lover, asking someone else, why are you such a poor player? And why do you feel the need to constantly play new games? Because otherwise you know that E will beat you more and more often. That is not asking for someone else. Oh my gosh, is he like messaging you questions? Yeah, so apparently I think one of the people in my game group is being fed questions by someone else in our game group. But yeah, I play games again and again all the time. It's not my fault that E doesn't make his way to game night anywhere near frequently enough. He's like, "Oh, my wife's here, so I can't play games." Whatever, dude. DJ Murphy, my daughter says a Jewish matchmaker is a yenta. That is an older term for Jewish matchmaker. Is that correct?
Is someone who more talks. The term that is used more now is someone called a shadchan. SHADCHAN, a shadchan, and then what the match that they make is called a shidduch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the term that we use now is a shadchan.
All right, we are closing up the last few questions, so if you want to get any more in, this is your opportunity because we're going to start closing this up. But let's see, Jeremiah Festino, did you say your 5-year-old sets up a game? That's amazing. Yes, and he did it like a few more times since then.
He's done it a few more times, yeah.
Like they're games he's played before, but like he just knows that they're simple. They're not like overly complicated, but he's also 5, so I'm impressed. Laura Weiss, do you ever feel guilty of having board games you haven't played yet? Yes, 100%. So fun fact, I used to, going back a year, I used to have around 30 unplayed games at any given time. And I'm a little more than a year, maybe 2 years back. And then over the past, before I started doing content creation, that number drifted up to around 50. And I was like, 50 unplayed games? That's a lot of games to not have played yet. And in the past year, because of content creation and getting in some publishers and having more and more things lined up and having to play certain games, different priorities, I'm currently at like 98 unplayed games on my shelves. And I frequently feel guilty might be the wrong. No, guilty is the right word. I feel guilty about it. I feel that I have too many games that are unplayed, meaning what I should be doing, if I followed my own advice that I give on the channel, is when I'm interested in a game, if it's a publisher game, it's a different story, but I have like maybe 30, 40 games from publishers, not 98. The other 60 are my own problem. And so those games are games that in theory I should never have gotten them. I should have put them on a list of games that I need to get, and then eventually got them when my list starts clearing up. So I have more than I should, and that's unfortunate, and I do feel guilty about it. Jim B, first of all, $10 super chat. Thank you. Thanks for all. Super chat's such a weird thing, but whatever. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Thank you very much. Jim B. Oh, Jim, you're Jim. Okay, I like Jim. Jim has been a huge supporter of the channel since like day one. Thanks for all the work on the channel. I appreciate the work on the late back video. Thank you, Jim. You've been tremendously helpful throughout the late
pledge video.
Yeah, the late pledge.
That was intense.
It was so. I just actually talked about this in my video going up tomorrow, the weekly review or whatever it is. I talked about this. I've been working on that video for like 2.5 weeks, going through all my different channels, got my own list of games as well as the 2 things I linked to in the video, the lists, to try to consolidate all the information. It is a lot of work, or was a lot of work. I believe it will be less work as time goes on because I already have the basis of that going on, but we'll go into that. Jessica Talbot, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Sakabra, UHF, Weird Al movie. When you mentioned the Brad Pitt, what's in the box? Oh, I was talking about, Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt, that's right. That's what it was. It was, it's a Brad Pitt movie where he screams what's in the box. It's all good. I think it's called Seven. Jessica Talbot, how often do you usually play games a week? I mean, I play games, I would say at least every other day on a minimum. Yeah, and probably more often that. Probably like 5 days a week I play games. The majority of my gameplay is going to be on Saturday because we're completely disconnected from electronics. So the majority is going to be Saturday, but yeah, I play games all week. Then we play games. I play more than you, but you play a lot. We just played Welcome to last night.
We just played Welcome to. We played 5 games of Codenames Duet this past
Sunday. We played 5 games. We played.
We lost, I think.
We just played a new game. We played trying to eliminate my games. We played that one, the pocket game.
We did. Tassimasi.
Tassimasi. Good job. Okay, you got the name of it. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. Evo, is your family into rap music? Because you would probably be the fastest rappers.
We have friends who are.
Yeah, are we? Oh yeah, we do. We
have friends who are.
Gina Lover, 98 unplayed games. That makes me sad. Gina Lover, come over and play more games. It's not my fault you're working all the time. Yogi Bears, Alex, the real Slim Shady. Yes. Okay. Jesse Samuel Anderson, you both are amazing. I'm so thankful I connected with you and I cannot wait for the future. Keep loving and caring for each other, please. Your relationship is a blessing. So many around you. Thank you, Jesse. This past year has been incredible. I mean, we talked about this on the podcast already, but 2020 is a weird year for me because on the one hand, it's been an incredibly hard year for many people. And I feel weird saying that for me, it has been a better year than normal. I've connected with people. I've made new friends, made new relationships. I've connecting with all of you in the comments on a regular basis. Like JJ the Great just said, I don't know what he meant, but JJ the Great regularly comments on my videos. So like I regularly see him and comment. There are people who I've seen their faces. There are people whose names I've just seen. It has added so many different elements to my life. It's added another fun thing we do together, Indeed. You and I, or with my daughter, another fun thing I do with her. So 2020 has been a truly above average year for me, which is weird because it has been a below average year for most people. And we got hit by the pandemic as well. We got hit by COVID, working, the company I work for got majorly hit. We've had to work from home. All like raises have been deferred for who knows how long. Like we definitely have been affected negatively by it. Don't get me wrong.
We had it.
But we had it.
We actually did have COVID.
But like we've been less negatively affected than people who are really in a tough spot. So it's a weird year. It's an absolutely weird year. And with that, I will close it up basically. But thank you everyone for being here. It's as usual. I have a lot of fun with these chats. It's great to have you here. It's great in general, it's great to have you on the channel. It's great to have you asking questions. Keep watching her videos. Again, reminder, she has a video coming on Wednesday that is immensely fun in my opinion. Make sure to watch that. Make her the most popular thing on the channel. Make her the most popular person on the channel so that I can just stop being in videos and have her do them instead. That would be great for me. And
no, it wouldn't. You like this too much.
In any case,
too much fun.
For everyone else, until next time, and as always,
have a good one.
Have a good one.